Today, we're diving into a topic that I've been thinking about so much. Am I a smart, intentional shopper, or am I actually a shopaholic in disguise? Hey, y'all, welcome back. This is Mickey Smith, and this is part of my Declutter and Digitize series. Now, I recently made a purchase of 7 items, which I will show here. They totaled $187. I felt amazing. You want to know why? Because each of these items, they were filling a gap that exists in my closet. Now, if you've been here before, you know that I'm in the middle of a huge declutter where I'm almost 200 pieces have already been removed from my closet and I'm still going. But yet, I made a purchase. Like I said, they're filling a gap. But I had to question myself because there are about a dozen or more pieces that I've purchased this summer that I did not wear. So I had to ask myself, self, if you're not wearing these clothes and you're bringing them into your closet, then you're actually adding clutter. So if you're going to give out tips, you'd better start taking them yourself. Okay, so let's break it down then. Ah, smart shopper. Hmm, let's see here. First, let's define the difference between the smart shopper and the shopaholic. So, a smart intentional shopper carefully considers each purchase. Yeah, that's me. They think about how an item fits into their existing closet. That's me too. Um, they think about how often they're going to wear whatever it is that they're buying and whether it fills a genuine need or gap. Check, check. It's all about thoughtful decision making. So, okay. All right, so let's check the other side of the coin, shall we? Let me go back to my notebook here. All right, so on the other hand, we have a shopaholic buys on impulse. I don't know that that's me as much now as it used to be in the past. They might purchase items because they're on sale, because shopping gives them a temporary boost. That is not me. I don't need to be boosted. Uh, they do it simply because they're in the habit of always looking for something new. Well, I will say I do often look at things that are new only because I'm trying to stay abreast of the trends and what's happening in fashion, and because I happen to love fashion. But I don't think that it makes me or motivates me to buy, or at least I don't think so yet. And it's less about need and more about the thrill of acquiring something. Hmm, not quite so much now, but I used to be in the past. So this, hmm, not so much. But you know what, guys? I want to dig a little deeper. Let's talk about the signs that you may, in fact, or I may, in fact, be a shopaholic. You may have multiple items in your closet that still have tags on them. Okay, I do have items in my closet with tags on them. You find yourself shopping to relieve stress, boredom, or loneliness. I wouldn't say that I actually shop, but I do, in fact, do a lot of scrolling and putting items into my cart as a means of identifying a wish list, looking at things that I really like as a just in case. So that one I would say is a little borderline. Okay. You often buy items on sale that you wouldn't have considered at full price. That's a fact, Jack. And I will say that's about me being frugal. Why should you pay full price when you can get it on sale? And that's for any item. I rarely, if ever, buy items at full price. You frequently exceed your budget or you don't have a budget at all. False. I do work with a budget and I stick to that budget. As a matter of fact, when I do eventually get to my lifestyle tips around finance, I will speak to how budgets have been an amazing tool for me as far as maintaining and making sure that there's growth and that we were able to sustain through rough times. Budgets are our friends. You rarely, if ever, return items, even if they don't fit you or you don't love them. Now, I will say in the past, out of just pure laziness, I would always assume that I can get something to fit. But I am on a path here of sustainability and not being frivolous. And I will say for the past couple of years, if something doesn't fit, or it's not something that sparks joy within me, it goes right back. Especially now that I predominantly do my shopping online versus brick and mortar. When you're shopping online, you're really taking a chance that when it arrives, it's going to fit you in all that visual beauty that you saw when you saw that garment online and you pictured it on yourself. It doesn't always work out that way. So sometimes you try it on and you're like, oh, I really love this, but it just doesn't fit. And it's just not worth it to get it tailored, or it's just not worth it to try to wear it in a different way. Send it on back. But if any of these points around being a shopaholic sounded familiar to you, you are not alone. This is a very, very common thing. So, what we're going to do is we're going to do a very quick exercise. I am going to do this with you. Okay, so let's get very specific. I'm going to refer to my notes here because I want us to be very truthful and forthcoming with ourselves as we're doing this exercise. All righty? Last 3 months, those are the parameters. That is where we're going to focus, the last 90 days. Okay? So, for every item that we bought, and if you can't remember as you're jotting down, I will give you a tip. If you shopped online, you should be able to go to your past orders and you will see everything that you've bought. So that's a way that you can make sure that you're capturing everything. Next to each of them, how often have you worn it? It doesn't have to be a specific number. It can be, a range of, 1 to 2 times, 3 to 5 times, never worn it, etc. The other thing to do that we want to reflect about the piece is, did we buy it because we needed it? Was it filling a gap in our wardrobe? Or did we buy it because we wanted to experiment a little with style, right? There was a trend that perhaps we wanted to try out, or we were getting a little bored with our looks and we wanted to try out something as a bit of a refresh. And the other thing we need to ask ourselves is, was it more of an emotional or impulse purchase? right? These are the questions that we need to ask ourselves. And I think it's going to be a pretty good guide. So I'm going to do this with you, and I am going to put up where I landed right here.
Strawberry on my lips and sugar fingertips.
Some of these, although I didn't think of them as impulsive and I thought I was being very intentional, I think that they were emotional purchases. This is a real wake up call for me because I need to make sure that I am practicing what I'm preaching, honey, and that I'm walking the talk. Am I fooling myself about being an intentional shopper? Maybe a little bit, maybe a little. It's easy, to justify purchases when they're on sale or when you want to try new fashion styles and all that, and that it would be a great addition to your wardrobe. But if you're not actually wearing the items, then it's just clutter. Clutter, clutter, clutter. So, all's not lost though. All's not lost. Okay, guys, so let's then now talk about tips of how we're going to shift from any shopaholic tendencies to being true, intentional, smart shoppers. Tip number one, this is how we're going to do it. We are going to create shopping lists, okay? And we're only going to buy items that are going to fill a gap, a needed gap in our closets. We're going to set a budget. And not only are we going to set that budget, we are going to stick to it. All right? Because this is going to help us prioritize between anything that we need. So the stuff that we need most goes to the top. We are going to shop our closets first because what I've found during this declutter exercise that I'm going through is there are so many goodies in there that I totally forgot about. And for items that were previously the hot thing, and then they kind of faded to the side for the new trends, the new it garments, they're now back and they're back with a vengeance. So we are going to shop our closets first. We are going to avoid emotional shopping. So, all of that online scrolling and putting things in our carts, that's just a little too close to the bone. You know what I mean? That's that temptation. So, I think less of that and more just not doing it at all. Okay? And when we do get items that don't fit, or when we get them in person, they're not the color we wanted, or it just doesn't feel the same. It doesn't spark that joy. It doesn't give us that you know what. It doesn't fit our look. We are going to send it back. Back. Okay? So those are the key tips, and that's how we're going to become great intentional shoppers. We're on our way, and that's all that matters. It's about growth, it's about encouraging yourself, encouraging others, because it's not about perfection. I'm still learning, and I'm okay with that. So I hope you are too. So let's keep each other accountable in this game of intentional shopping and all the other things related to keeping ourselves organized and on track and not spending where we don't have to spend, not being frivolous, being sustainable. all the things. I'm not just decluttering my closet, it's also about decluttering my mindset. So, this has been a great exercise for me, and I hope it has been for you as well. And with these takeaways, we are going to get through this. We are going to be a lot better about our spending, about what we bring into our homes and into our closets, because there's no time to be wasting money. There's no time to be wasting time, no time to be wasting space. So thanks for joining me today. And don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you don't miss anything else in this Declutter and Digitize series. And I am so grateful that you stopped by to spend time with us here today. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.